All right, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Talking Investing with Tom and George. George is on a call right now, so hold on. I got to press the George button. Uh-oh. That didn't work. All right, I need tech support. We'll work on that in a minute. All right, so huge weekend. Morning live stream because so much is going on. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Sour Melon Gaming, Barry, Steven, Bitcoin Rules, Ray. Good morning, Eric, Craig, Crypto Golfer. Yeah, a lot of stuff went down this weekend. And Bitcoin had a monumental move. And we're going to see where it goes. Alex, good morning. Let's see. Alex is saying, good morning. Binance CEO says with recent, quote, changes in stable coins and banks, the company's recovery fund will be converted from BUSD to native cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Interesting. BUSD had a ride over the weekend. Sorry, USDC had a ride. BUSD is already on its way to disappearing. George, you're here, but they can't see you because my button isn't working. I'm going to go get tech support.
Your button's not working? Uh-oh.
That's all I have. That's the only way I can describe it. I gotta. That's how dumbed down I need everything for me now with technology. It's like press this button, and if that doesn't work, then
that's really funny.
There is no option B. So give me 10 seconds. I'm gonna go run and get tech support.
There's gonna be
they can hear you but not see you.
That's probably better, anyways. No one really wants to see me.
Not this early.
I just got back from the gym. All I know is, you want to know the best news? Is the government came in to save the day again. They saved the day. We're going to be fine. There's no problems, right? It's pretty cool, though, to think that this is what Bitcoin was created for. This is why we have Bitcoin. And I was talking to Tom over the weekend, and I was saying to Tom, I said, Tom, why isn't Bitcoin taking off? And almost as I said it, it took off. Because once one bank goes down, it's a domino effect, unfortunately, and then all the banks end up going down. So it's nice to see that finally people are having faith again in Bitcoin. But I think it's a plan, and I think it was coordinated attack on crypto for the last year. I don't know if we're out of the woods 100% yet, but I think that we are in a much better position than going into the weekend. So I think that, honestly, when I speak of crypto, I should probably say Bitcoin, because I still think there's going to be a lot of volatility in the crypto market, but not as much on Bitcoin's level. Are you back now, Tom?
I'm back, and I will say I agree. I think right now, for the time being, although the entire crypto universe had a big run this weekend, they're not all created equal. And right now, Bitcoin is the flight to safety, which is a major, major turnaround. Now, we'll see how the Bitcoin miners do, because the futures are a little... Sorry, not the futures. The pre-market trading is a little disappointing right now. So just
I'm not as disappointed as you are about that, because it's a game, and there's probably still people that don't even really realize what's going on yet, Tom. As crazy it is.
I guess that's possible. I mean, so much happened over this weekend, and the futures did switch. I mean, we're red now across the board. We were very green last night. So definitely there's been a change. And I want to go through a bunch of other changes, because this thing that happened over the weekend affected absolutely everything. This has changed the entire situation with the stock market, with the Fed, things like the CPI, which used to be the most important thing there was, I really think doesn't even matter at all unless it's a shocking number. And even if it's a shocking number, I'm not sure there's anything they can do about it at this point. Having said that, I will tell you that I was pleased with what they did, and a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that. So I know there was a lot of frustration. People don't like the concept of anything that looks or sounds or smells like a bailout, but this was about to go. This was about to go in a very bad direction,
Parabolic.
in my opinion. Yeah, we were 1 or 2 steps from falling off of a cliff, and once you've fallen off the cliff, you know your only option is to land and smash at the bottom. So that had to be avoided. I think they did the right thing. They had this very same opportunity in the great financial crisis, and they missed it. And I remember screaming at the TV while I'm watching Congress, say no. And, within 3 days of that, there was a run on every bank in the United States. So that's how fast this can happen. And it was, in my opinion, that's what was about to happen. And I think they know.
And I don't know if that isn't still going to happen, by the way. You can't say.
You're right, that could still happen, but if they had not taken this step, that's what would be happening right now as we're speaking.
Right. I would imagine that every single banking is going to get destroyed today, I would imagine.
I think the regional banks got destroyed last week. So I think this sends a strong signal to the smaller banks that there's a safety net that we didn't think was there. So I think we might see a little bit of decent action in the regional banks. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the big banks. I've got the Bank of America window open for when the market opens. So
that's the one I'm really worried about.
It's down 4.5 in pre-market right now.
Then here's my next question. What happens when we go to war?
Oh, man.
I mean, these are things that we have to start thinking about because we're on the verge of war, whether people want to accept that or not. It's coming.
Well, we got one crisis at a time.
I'm just asking you, what do you know what I mean? I mean, what do you do in the finance world?
This is a very precarious time to add that into the mix. I mean, things are unbelievably tenuous right now. We're like walking a tight wire, and I know I watched a lot. I tried to watch a bunch of YouTubers over the weekend and see what everybody was thinking and feeling about this, and people were more upset than I expected. Some people that I like, and I understand what they're saying, and the focus. And I don't know where you guys are at, and I should read the comments. Let's do a poll.
I'm just laughing at what everybody's writing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten a chance to read the comments. But before I do that, here's my not public service announcement. But if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the stream out a lot. As you guys know, this is only our second morning live stream ever, so the more likes we get, the more it spreads the stream out. So we want to see if this thing is something people are interested in. We do have a decent attendance right now, but we're only at 18 likes, so we usually get 100 likes, so let's shoot for 100 likes. I appreciate anybody that will smash the like button. You can unsmash it later, as far as I know.
I don't even look at my who goes back to a video on Facebook? I mean... YouTube.
Honestly,
I don't even know where that is.
I still haven't even taken the time to check and see if that's really how it works. But in my mind, if you like something, then later you could unlike it, and it goes away.
I think why everybody is here, I think everybody is really anxious about Bitcoin. Where do you see it going? What do you see it doing? What do you see, what was the next, short term, long term, and I'll give you my opinion. And I know that I think you guys all know that I thought March would be a good month for Bitcoin. And even on Friday when you guys were all giving me a rough time, I still said I'm staying with it. I don't know why I'm staying with it. And that was a rough one, dude, because you see it going down, you're like, no, it's going up. And then whatever the reason is, it went up. I just feel that there's some other avenues for Bitcoin right now that we're not even talking about that's happening kind of behind the scenes. That's really good for Bitcoin. And I think that is this. I think this was all planned. I think this was the month that it was supposed to take off. I just think that this other stuff that happened with the banks is just going to even make it go up even faster and stronger. That's my 2 cents. Not financial advice. I guess you could say it's crypto advice. Can I say that? Or
I
no?
don't think so, but
Not crypto advice. Go on, Tom.
I think we could give life advice, and
Look
not,
at that,
not
Gorilla.
that anybody would have
30K
any
this week.
reason.
People need a plan B. That's so true. I think that I think it's just, there was some other stuff. I didn't want to tell you what I dove into a few weeks ago because I didn't want you guys to think I was a complete lunatic, okay?
Too late.
That's how loony it is. But I think, unfortunately, Bitcoin follows some really interesting, real trend lines, so to speak. And I discovered what it is, and that's why when it started going down, I was like, geez, I didn't expect this. Sorry, go on.
No, that's good. I just posted a poll. So for those of you who can see the poll and participate in the poll is, was the Fed move to support the failed banks good or bad? And your choices are good move or bad move, don't like bailouts.
Tell me why you think, what would your answer be, Tom?
Can we give this poll? I'll give you my answer, and then later I'll explain why. I think it was a good move. If there was an option great move, I would pick great move.
Right.
Sometimes, nobody wants a move like this to happen, but there are times when you get to a point where, the alternative is significantly worse.
Well, what gets me about almost everything going on right now, and this is not a political statement, but you might take it as a political statement. It just seems like everything that's going on right now with whether it's our national budget or what the feds are doing is causing our conflicts that we currently have in our lives in this financial market. That's what I think or believe. I mean, you can't keep printing money, and unfortunately, this is going to wreck us long term. This even proves more of a case reason of why you need Bitcoin than ever before. Is that this going to happen again, and we're just going to print more money, Tom? I mean, when does it end?
When you think about what was happening, and I don't know how closely everybody was paying attention this weekend. I know some of you paid very close attention. Other people hopefully turned all this off and had a life over the weekend. I was paying close attention. There were moments this weekend where you asked yourself, like, where can I put my money? Because it looks like it's not the bank. It's not stable coins. I could put it under my mattress. I could put it in Bitcoin, so I think this is an extremely bullish move for Bitcoin. And I think that we saw that. I mean, the move up in Bitcoin this weekend was massive. For those of you who were on Friday's live stream, we did talk about and went through some of the technicals. We were unbelievably oversold, so we'll take a look at that. So I expected a little run up this weekend. I thought we were I thought the trend had flipped. We'd gone a little bearish, but I did expect to have a 1 or 2 day bounce back after the vicious downturn that we had. We were at a historic. I could not find a time that we were this low on the 4-hour RSI. So this was the most oversold we've ever been on certain time frames. So I expected a little bounce, but this was not a little bounce. This orange line, as you guys know, is where we closed on Friday. So from Friday until now, Bitcoin's up almost 13%. So the market is now open. And if we look at the initial big board here, Bitfarms is up 9.5, Hut's up 7, Hive's up 5.5, CleanSpark's up less than 1%. Riot's up 3.5%. Marathon 5, Cypher 7.5. I won't do this all day. I'm just going to go through these initial. Iris Energy 4, Bit Digital 7.5, Gree 8.7, Wolf 4, Argo Blockchain 3, Stronghold 11, Mawson 2.5%. DigiHost is up 21%.
Wow.
Yeah, that one took off. And these smaller market caps can do that. I expect to see this board change like crazy all day today. So these numbers may be very, very different by the end of the day. NE is up 3%. Core Scientific is down 6. Oh, no, sorry. Core Scientific and DigiHost are on a delay, so those numbers are not updated yet. MicroStrategy is up 3.5%. So a very green board, but on a day where, so I'm going to go to, okay, so this was last week. This is all the Bitcoin miners in Bitcoin last week. So last week on the week, Bitcoin was down 10%. Well, we just saw it was up 12.5% over the weekend. So Bitcoin is up. Yet, the vast majority of these, even given the board right now, so this was through Friday, even given the changes that they've had this morning, the vast majority of these are still anywhere from down to way down. So once again, the Bitcoin miners are lagging Bitcoin's activity. I don't know if that means that people don't believe in this Bitcoin move, or if there's there's a few other things going on with the Bitcoin miners that, I don't know if there's a lack of confidence. So we should talk about what happened. We haven't really talked about what happened over the weekend.
Yeah, Tom, tell me what happened over the weekend.
Well, we had the second largest bank fail ever. And then to follow that up, we had the third largest bank fail ever. So those are two of the three largest bank failures. Washington Mutual, I think it was, failed during the financial crisis. To put things in perspective. Now, I'm going to tell you in a minute why that's a little bit misleading, but just from a factual standpoint, the amount that those had under assets, Silicon had, I think, over $200 billion in assets. So, that's a massive, it was like the 15th or 16th largest bank in the country. Now, it wasn't a bank that regular people used. They were specialized, so their client wasn't necessarily me or you. They had a lot of crypto clients. Obviously, they had a lot of non-traditional. So most of that money was as a result of that, as a result of their unusual base of customers. Most of the money that they had was not insured by the FDIC. The FDIC insures up to $250,000. Well, for instance, Circle USDC had $3.3 billion in the bank. So, $250,000 of insurance isn't really getting the job done. So you can see, so that was one of the immediate ramifications. USDC depegged. It was down to 87 cents at one point. So I'm going to go there right now, update this screen. It should be almost all the way.
You should be running, we should have like a ticker on the bottom of this, by the way.
Oh, scrolling.
Did you see that something just got, Jeff just said Western First just got halted at 70% down?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't think any of the miners are going to take off today, by the way. It's just because they will, at some point in time they will, but that's crazy. Because these things are going to it's going to be, the problem is when it goes, see, this is where Tom and I really, really differ, is I think once it goes down, I don't think 11 banks halted. I don't think it comes back up anytime soon, at least. I don't know. That's Tom's opinion, would be different than mine.
So you're saying 11 banks are halted this morning?
Yeah, that's what Jeff just said.
So even with the unprecedented move that they took, there's still pressure on the banks. So let's just take a look at some of the big banks and then take a look at some of the...
Dude, switch over to Yahoo and put that up. Roku is going to get decimated. Did you hear? They had all their money there.
Yeah, but see,
I know it's going to get back. I understand.
Already.
Right.
So that's the big thing about what they did this weekend. It's not, these people aren't getting their money back someday over the rainbow. They can go get their money back now, right now,
Wow.
Monday morning when the banks open. So they can go withdraw $3 billion, or sorry, with Roku, $487 million, I believe, is what they had in that bank.
Check swab. $200 billion in investments. SVB had $200 billion in investment.
I don't know why that's not being slow here. Give that a minute. Yeah, they had. That's what I'm saying. Charles Schwab down 18, almost 19%. The market is not viciously down. The Nasdaq's down 1%. The Dow a half. The S&P 1.22%. So the market's all right. But the financial. So here's the thing: if you want to know whether or not this step had to be taken over the weekend, even with this unprecedented step, the financials are still getting destroyed this morning. So imagine what would be happening right now had they not done that.
Yeah.
For those of you too young to remember, or for those of you who don't remember, or for those of you who do remember and are trying to forget, we had a run on every single bank in the United States back in the 2008-2009 financial crisis. We had to take a step that was essentially cost us multiple trillions of dollars because we did not get out ahead of that.
And Truist is down 20%, by the way.
So the banks are getting wrecked. What's a nice regional bank? What was some of the list that
regional bank?
Banks that people were concerned with. There was a
wow. There could be some great opportunities to buy here though. We just gotta wait for the smoke to settle.
Yeah,
Truist I thought was pretty solid.
I mean, here's why I'm surprised. Here's and this was a joint statement, I believe, a joint statement with the Federal Reserve, the Treasury Department, and the FDIC. So you don't get joint statements out of those guys very often. And they made it a point to say that, Janet Yellen had talked with the president about this as well. So
that is a laughable statement. But anyways, I watched her in the morning on Sunday just talking like an idiot. And I'm just like, oh, you are putting a lot of confidence in the marketplace right now. And I think that's why they made the decision was when she went and started talking, they're like, oh shit, we got a problem.
They had to issue that joint statement many hours later. What?
Zion is down 39.26.
Zion.
ZIONS. 39. Mark put it down. It was down 24%. Now it's down 39%.
So they're going to halt a lot of these. These are getting destroyed.
That's why CleanSpark and the other companies haven't. Yeah, CleanSpark's even.
Alex is saying the Fed turning on the printers. So for all the Fed's tough talk, and this is what I'm just going to say, I've been saying this for months and months and months. There's only so much the Fed can do. They're almost out of runway. There's very few, people were pricing in. I almost lost my mind in the last 2 weeks. People were pricing in a 50 basis point rate hike. There was no chance that was going to happen. And I've said that on several live streams and in my videos. And now, if I go there, you're going to see people are starting to price in a zero rate hike this time next week. So
here's my question, Tom. When does inflation start to run away? I mean, because we're right. I know, but I would think it's going to keep going.
I think that right now inflation just took a big back seat. I know that's hard to imagine, and it's not that it's not important. but we're well into the inflation cycle. And here's the thing: if the banking system gets decimated, ultimately it won't be inflation. I know everybody's knee-jerk reaction is to think we're going to print a lot of money, we're going to have inflation, but what we'd head into is another Great Recession or mini depression, or maybe not a mini depression. So in those scenarios, everything gets depressed by definition, I guess.
Apple's a positive for the day.
Space Oddity is saying 2009 equals 2023. Well, today it definitely does. So this is worth, I'm just going to spend a minute on this. We now have, so we went from, and we missed some of the peak days. So you can see 50 basis points is now at 0.0%. That did get up to 70%. So it was at 40% on Friday. It was at 31% a week earlier. There's missing days in the middle where this got all the way up to 70%, and now it's at 0.0. It's not even at 0.1. It's now completely off the table. There's not one person that thinks that's going to happen. 80% think there's going to be a 25 basis point. I think that's still possible, although as I'm watching this morning unfold, I'm starting to think they may have to take that off the table.
Dude, 22,360. Bitcoin's on the move. The only thing I'm disappointed is my XRP hasn't taken off yet.
Well, so now the board has already changed. We have CleanSpark in the red, we have Iris Energy in the red, we have TerraWolf in the red. So we've got some going red. We've got Hive very close to 0. Marathon and Riot, which are by far the two largest market caps, they're up only 1% now. Cypher, which is now the third largest market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners, is now still up 10.6%. So that is a big move. MinerDoc is saying First Republic. Let's check that out.
I'll type it in. Whoa! Down to 66.88%. 2708. They had to be halted.
So
wow.
this is the bad news, and this is not good. And I can't believe the market's only down 1%. The Dow's down 0.5%. If the steps they didn't take this weekend, if that didn't put confidence back into our banking system, then what George said at the beginning of this stream, which was, I said we might be facing, we would have been facing a potential run on the banks had they not done this. Well, it looks like we might be facing a potential run on the banks even after they did this. So to be crystal clear for the people that don't understand, basically the Federal Reserve just came in. Now, it was two banks, but they just came in and said, listen, and there's a difference. These are banks. They just came in and said, if your money is in a bank in the United States and you're a depositor, you're getting your money back, period. So that is the message that they sent. So a lot of people feel like, oh, they're picking the winners and they're picking the losers. They're bailing out, the rich. It was only the rich people that were even using Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. So, but the thing is, once one of our dollars in the bank in the United States is not safe, and that is the perception that the public has, our entire banking system, that is the fundamental principle of our banking system. I know we have FDIC up to $250,000, but people don't lose their money in a U.S. bank. So now, there's other things. If you remember, other financial institutions, they have let fail. AIG was multiples larger than all of these things, and that failed. Bear Stearns failed. Those were financial institutions. They weren't banks. If people think their money in the bank is no good, that spirals in a way that it's very inconsistent what's going on right now. For these banks to be in a free fall and the market to be hanging on is surprising to me, and I think there's a chance one of these things has to give. And it doesn't really make sense. I think maybe these stocks, maybe what people are thinking, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, maybe what they're thinking is, yeah, all the depositors are going to be safe, but
not the stockholders.
Right. The stockholders in both of those companies got burned. So that could be what we're seeing in these banks, is that, in these regional banks, there's a massive fear factor that they're going to follow the same thing, which is
I agree.
All the depositors get all their money back, but unsecured creditors and, equity holders get totally burned.
You know what's really sad, Tom, as you're talking and I'm reading the comments of everybody? What's really sad is how many people don't even understand crypto, and they don't even understand Bitcoin, and how they're going to get wrecked. Because Space Odyssey said the thing that he put it in a better way than I probably could have, and that is they didn't fix anything. They put a Band-Aid on it, and that's the problem. The problem is we're in a country that doesn't make anything. Sorry. Don't make me go there. We don't make anything, and we're a service-based economy. And this has been a problem that was fixed for a little while, and now it went back the other way again. And I think what you're looking at, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry, and it is what it is. But what you're looking at is Hillary's chance at being president right now. This is why all these things are happening. This was their plan before Trump got in. And, I'm not saying I'm a big Trump supporter, but I'm going to tell you that this would not be currently happening if we had a different administration. How about that? Sorry. Sorry,
well,
Tom.
I'm trying to think of how we got to this point.
How we got to this point? I can tell you how we got to this point.
Go ahead. You go.
We're giving money. We're giving money out every single month to people that don't deserve it, and people that didn't earn it. And unfortunately, it sucks. I understand. Look at guys. I was completely broke at one point in time in my life. Actually, two points in time in my life. And you know what happened? I could not go and get food stamps. I just couldn't bring myself to it. I couldn't do that. That's crazy. I went and I got a shitty ass job and I worked and saved money. And then as I saved more money, I got, more. I wasn't afraid. I believed in myself. I didn't believe in the stock market. I just believed in me. Somebody says that, right? Isn't it like John Lennon or something like that? And so what I did was I bootstrapped it up, okay? And I remember for a whole year I cleaned freaking pools, dude. I remember factoring it out. I made like $5 an hour. But you know what? I was working for myself and I totally loved it. And then I ended up going and getting a W-2 for a year, and that was, oh my God, it was hell, because I didn't get paid by how much I worked. I got paid by, a per hour rate. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was just basically an entry level job. It wasn't anything like where you could get big money. But it is what it is, right? Sorry.
No, I mean, that's a part of the problem, and it also goes, I was trying to find Space Oddity's comment that basically...
Let me read it.
The financial systems is on the ropes again. We never really recovered from 2009, not with 10 years of ultra-low interest rates. Now still the same problem. And I'll add to that sentiment, I agree with that not only did we have 10 years of ultra-low, really basically zero interest rates, we printed money like, there was no tomorrow. So the trillions and trillions of dollars that we printed combined with the zero interest rates, so the quantitative easing, the low interest rates, that allowed the economy, plus which, oh, by the way, every once in a while we just mailed a check to everybody in the United States.
Right. And, when the world was shut down, I understand that. I'm not saying that was wrong to do. Bless you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at what point in time are you going to take your own opportunities into your hand? Because here's why I love the United States still today, and sorry, I think that this speaks to everybody, even outside of the United States, is this is the only place where you can make it still. If you believe in yourself, you can go and you can make something of yourself. Dude, that's this whole movement is about CUDEB. Can you do any better? And my theory in life is, yes, you can do better. is come up with a plan, get out of debt, and then get out of the system. Because I'm not in this system. As crazy it is, I got a few 100,000. Sorry, but I got a few hundred in. But you know, whoop-de-doo, I'm not in. I don't care. I hate to say it like that, but you know what I mean? It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. And I think right now, I think we're in for a situation the next few months, even now with this printout. I mean, there's going to be some bumps and there's going to be some rallies, but I think overall we're kind of in a bad situation.
We are in a bad situation. That is a fact. Now, having said that, cryptocurrency is on the way up. So even on the 15-minute candles, you can see we made a nice. We had pulled back a little bit a while, you know, over what was overnight in the United States, depending on wherever you are in the world. It was a different time, but we pulled back a little. We went sideways, and now we've run up in the last hour, really since before the market opened, we started rallying back up. Now all the Bitcoin miners are all green. So, well, not all of them. Wolf is down 3%. Mawson's down 3%. So these things have been all over the place this morning, and we're 22 minutes into trading, and now all of a sudden Bitfarms is up 10%, and you know, Riot's up 7.5%. Marathon's up 8%. The last time we just looked a few minutes ago, those were 1%. So I think you can expect monumental volatility all day. People can't figure out exactly what to do or where to go.
Well, and it looks like people are flocking to Bitcoin. I mean, we're up almost 6% in just an hour, and I would imagine that's going to be a pretty green next couple of hours at least, if not
in Bitcoin.
Right. And look at, I'm not gonna, we're gonna have to create another channel, because the things that I will say now is, you guys will think I'm a lunatic. And, but here's the great thing about me. I will send you emails, or you can go to a website and everything I say you can prove. I'm not conspiracy theory, because I think that's ridiculous. But there's major things that have happened last week that has caused this unraveling. And I think that's another reason why I'm still so bearish on Bitcoin.
Sour Melon Gaming saying, I don't understand why Wolf is still selling off. They just had big news with their new facility opening. Yeah, I don't know. It always seems like there's one or two outliers every day on this list of Bitcoin miners. I don't know why Wolf is red today. Mawson's 6.6 in the red. DigiHost came back down to earth. It's now up 8.7% versus 21%.
If it goes below 2, though, I am buying, but it's not. It's 2.14.
So CleanSpark's now up just under 3%. So that was red the last time we looked. So it's going to be a bumpy road. I'm going to go back to the let's go back and see what the market is doing.
Let's see what Republic did. That's if they're back.
So the Nasdaq's at almost break even. The Dow is now in the green.
I am so incoherent, it isn't even funny. I don't know what I'm saying, Investor Gadget. I just ramble. I'm a rambler, sorry.
A fair question.
Positive vibes about ready to run out. Bless you, honey. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Mark Twain is adding some short positions.
Bless you.
Positive vibes are about to run out. VIX closing in on 31. That's from Jeff. DXY is moving slowly down. Let's just take a quick look at the DXY.
Bless you.
Okay, so we're under 104 on the DXY. It's down a little bit today, but this is where it starts to make a difference. If this can get down under 103 to 102 or 101, last time that happened, we had our nice rally in the market. So this one line item is good news. This line item is bad news. The VIX is now over 30. It's up 22% today. It was up on Friday, so this is skyrocketing. And that makes sense. I mean, if this isn't volatility, then what is?
Do you think the dollar gets wrecked?
No, I don't think the dollar gets wrecked. I would like to actually see the dollar get a little dent put in it, though, because it's been with everything we've done, everything we just talked about with the decade and a half of quantitative easing, printing money, dropping it out of airplanes. It's been raining money and all of that, and the dollar's hasn't been stronger in 20 years. So the dollar's too strong right now. It's hurting the world's economy.
Dude, Marathon better pump. Let's see what Marathon is up. Everybody seems to know Marathon in the rest of the world. They don't know CleanSpark. They don't know Riot as much as they know Marathon. Up 9%. That would be nice to see a 20% day for Marathon.
I know. Now I'm kicking myself. I didn't make that Marathon. Well, you can't kick yourself, but I am. Riot's up 7.5. Marathon's up 9. Those are the two big dogs. Cypher, which is the third largest market cap, is up 13.5%. HUT, which is the fourth largest market cap, is up 12.7%. HUT, HUT's in the middle of a lot of, I'm not going to say chaos. There's a lot of change going on at HUT. It's a lot of stuff up in the air, but still, it's running today because the one thing that HUT does have is over 9,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So, whatever else is going on, that fact doesn't change.
If you were to buy any of the Bitcoin miners right now, Tom, what would you look at?
I'm looking at Wolf.
Down
Down
is up 13% right now. Bitfarms almost up 10.
Yeah.
What in the world? They just hate our CleanSpark, don't they?
Well, CleanSpark's up 5%. They were red 15 minutes ago. So, I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to be you guys can already see it's now, we're almost a half an hour into the day, and things have been all over the place. People don't know what to make of what is going on right now.
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty healthy now.
Okay, we now have the S&P is green, the Dow is green, the NASDAQ is green. So that's a turnaround. Now, they were green all night last night. Everybody pressed the panic button this morning. Let's check a couple of these banks.
Tesla's down 2% right now.
That's not even too bad. It looks like First Republic stopped. Oh, no, it's back on 65 unless it's halted again.
HSBC just announced they're going to buy SVB in UK.
In the UK.
Yes.
All right. All right, somebody throw some banks at me. Let's check out some of these regional banks. So Raul's saying CPI is tomorrow. And here's the thing. I mean, you can see at this point, CPI went from being the number one thing that's driven the stock market. And really, that's only because the CPI gives us some insight as to what we think the Fed is going to do at the next meeting. So it's really the Fed that's been driving the market for the last full year. We now have CPI data tomorrow. I don't think it makes any difference what that data said. I mean, it makes a difference to the economy and the world. I don't think it makes a difference to the stock market, and I don't think it makes any difference to the Fed at this point. That can no longer be what they have their eyes on. And a lot of people, criticize the Fed. They're between a rock and a hard place. Like, what's their good alternative right now? For as much as we don't want inflation to run us over, we can't have a failed banking system. That is so many magnitudes worse than inflation.
I'm
Terra
buying
Wolf is
stuff. That's
down.
why I'm not talking, guys.
I just added, so Sour Melon Gaming said, I just added some Wolf at 55 cents. In my opinion, it's so undervalued. So I'm not making any trades while we're streaming, but I do agree. I don't know why. I don't know why Wolf is down. Let's see what they did last week. All right. So last week they were down. So they were down 10%. They were one of the best performers of the week last week. But still, they were down 10%. So they should be up.
I'm in. I'm in with you, by the way. I just bought Wolf.
You did buy some Wolf?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's crazy. It was trading last week at 68 cents.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason on some of these things. Sometimes opportunities just present themselves for reasons that have nothing to do with the fundamentals, the technicals.
I'll let you know when I make money, guys. I'm sorry ahead of time. Now the whole thing's going to fall apart. I bought it.
All right, so let's check. New York Community Bank down 17%.
I'm thinking about putting more money into my trading account. Shh. Don't tell my wife.
Pac West.
Woohoo, Bert! Thank you for whoever told me to buy TerraWolf. Was it Eric?
I know Sour Melon Gaming's left a couple of comments this morning, and so have some other people.
Thanks.
Pac West Bank down 51%. So we got some banks getting absolutely destroyed. So we're maybe winning half the battle and losing half the battle. As far as,
Do we got any squeezes, Tom? Any short squeezes that we can do today?
I don't think there's going to be a short squeeze opportunity here. CleanSpark, $2.50 calls for a nickel this Friday. Sure, why not?
Wow, that's a great one.
Yeah, I mean, you never know if we have a big run this week.
Why? A nickel? That seems... Wow.
Thanks, Raul. Appreciate it. Best live show. Thank you. Yeah, and for everybody, if you could please smash the like button. It helps the channel out. It helps the live stream out a lot. So I appreciate it. We're testing out these morning live streams. So far this is our second one. And obviously today is a day that required some additional attention. And
What is Operation Choke Point everybody keeps talking about? I thought that's when Bill Clinton was in office. Sorry.
I gotta spell it right because it's not like what it sounds like. How do they spell that?
What, Choke Point?
Is it spelled? It's not like...
I'm just asking. What happens if CPI is hot tomorrow?
All right, so this is definitely not it. Choke point 2.0. Thank you. Is the U.S. coming for crypto? Crypto still needs on-off ramps for U.S. dollars, but the U.S. is making it increasingly difficult to maintain them. So this is the CDBC, I believe, argument going on that, you know, they're coming after crypto, but you know, I would say that there's no evidence. This is not evidence of them coming after crypto because, like, crypto's right now looking like a flight to safety. I mean, HUT's up 13.5% right now. That's wild. Core Scientific having a big day, up 23%. That ticker is on a delay for me on this screen. Western down 80%.
Really? And good news, this won't cost, Biden says won't cost taxpayers anything. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Just so everybody knows.
Right, and they released that in their statement, and I was going to bring up that joint statement that right now they're saying taxpayers will pay for none of this. So technically, in that regard, it's not a bailout. You know, we're not having to pay this with our tax dollars. One of the things they're doing is these bank runs turn into a liquidity crisis. So it's not that the money isn't there, it's that they can't get it fast enough and they have to start selling assets at a loss, particularly since, you know, essentially the US government basically made all these banks buy US Treasury bonds, and you know, and at the time it was under the concept that we were basically 20 years into something plus or minus of zero interest. So now all of a sudden, with interest rates skyrocketing, all these banks have long-term, not all of them, but many of these banks are holding long-term bonds, and the value of those is going down dramatically. Now, that doesn't make any difference if they can hold them to maturity. They're still worth their face value. But if there's a run on the bank and they have to start liquidating those, that's what's going on right here. So a lot of people are saying, well, shame on these banks for making bad investments and that kind of stuff. It really has nothing to do with the investments the bank made. So the fact that you know, Silicon Valley Bank was dealing with crypto, that's not why they're failing. The run on the bank has to do with the fact that these long-term treasury bonds are illiquid to the extent that if they have to sell them, they're going to take a huge loss. Their market cap was, I think, $15 or $16 billion, and prior to this, you know, 5 days ago, and they were going to have a write-down of about $15 billion on the securities they held, the U.S. Treasury bonds. So, you know, that erases their entire equity as a bank, and that's what caused the run on the bank in this instance. And then, obviously, you can see it's contagious. We're getting, I mean, these regional banks are getting destroyed today. I did not see this coming. I thought that this statement, I'm going to bring up the statement because this is what they did.
We're just about ready to hit 23,000 Bitcoin. Thanks,
Are we really? Whoa, we're pumping 23,000.
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right, so see how fast
2304,
things have changed? Now we've got an extremely green board.
Woohoo!
In the Bitcoin mining sector. Let's see. Let me check one more thing. Let's see what the market is doing. This is the Grayscale. So the Grayscale Trust is up 7.6%. That's actually less than I thought it would be. Market is now green. S&P's green. Dow's green. Nasdaq's green. Russell is red. Oil's down 2.7%.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody minds seeing that. The Grayscale discount. Let's see.
Would you buy any gold right now, Tom?
See, the Grayscale discount. I would not buy any gold right now. No. And not because I think gold's in trouble. I'm just not a gold believer. Right? Let's look at gold's at $1,901. So about a year or a year and a half ago, George, you remember we read, I think on a live stream with everybody, gold had gone over $2,000 for one day, and that person said that was gold will never be under $2,000 ever again. Well, guess what? That was the only day it was at $2,000, and it's never been back to $2,000 since then. So, you know, gold and silver continue to float around in a range. If I had to pick one or the other, I would say silver. And I've been fooled time after time after time with silver. But there's such a stronger use case for silver. I mean, silver is in actual demand. So I think if I had to pick, I would put my money in silver versus gold. But if I really had to pick, I think I'd pick Bitcoin ahead of both of those. But obviously, you know, if you want to diversify and do different things. Having said that, I will say I've been burned on silver every time they get me. So I understand conceptually the use case and the demand for silver, but for some reason, it just never seems to work out that way. Alex said, Tom, I'm disappointed that you are discounting Checkpoint 2.0. Hold on.
I thought it was Choke Point. Checkpoint. Okay.
Without understanding what is why it's going on and when BTC is the rise. So, all right. So we will do a deeper dive on that. My only point was that today, you know, the cryptocurrency certainly is not being hurt today. So I'll do a deeper dive on that. I know I see everybody talking about that. So Alex, it's on my radar. I'm gonna write it down. That's the first thing that I've written down on my list today.
So
and isn't it?
Let's just say
choke point,
I can tell you
checkpoint, choke point.
It's Checkpoint, I guess. That's why I didn't know what he's talking about. I can tell you, it took me a long time because of that Checkpoint thing. I could only do. Let's just say I can only do. I just hate saying this like I'm going to say it, but I could only do. I think they limit it as a couple thousand a week. Or a day, or something like that. I can't remember now. But it took me a long time to build out the positions I wanted to in crypto. A long time. Because they just kept, you know.
Fortunately, you had a long time, but it did. You had to go at a snail's pace just to get money into.
Yeah, so it is affecting crypto. It is affecting crypto that way. Because I couldn't go and transfer, let's say if I had it, $100,000 into crypto right now. I couldn't do it. I would have to do a wire, and then it would take a day for it to show up. Versus before we can do, like for an example, if I want to put money into Schwab, you know, my bank is hooked up to it directly, and I can transfer, you know, pretty much unlimited. I think there's like. I think you can get so much available immediately, and then it takes a little bit longer. The whole thing with crypto, and I think that's the big problem with why crypto hasn't taken off again, is because of the way they have throttled the way you can bring money. Like, I don't think you can do it with Visa or MasterCard anymore, or American Express. I tried to use my Apple Card. I couldn't do my Apple Card. There's a lot of different, like, there's a lot of different banks that won't like I know Bank of America wouldn't let me do it. Trying to think who else. There's a ton of different ways it was impossible, Tom.
I mean, this is one of your XRP arguments, in my opinion. The taking fiat money and getting it into the crypto world is getting more and more difficult. That's on purpose. And now you've got, you know that the heaviest regulation, they're looking at these crypto exchanges. And by the way, instead of regulating them, so far what they seem to be doing is just taking them out one at a time, right? I mean, they're like the crypto exchanges are a dying breed. So there's a few big ones that I think are in favor with big money, and the rest of them, I'm not sure, including Binance. I don't know where they stand. So it takes forever to get your fiat money in. It takes forever to convert it and get it out. So you put your money in. You put it in stable coins so you can trade. But then, you know, all of a sudden your second biggest stable coin is depegged down to 87 cents over the weekend. That was very disturbing. So that got solved. The only reason that is repegged is the government came in and said you can get your $3 billion back, because Circle, which runs USDC, had, I think, $3.3 billion in the bank that was, going to be potentially tied up, some of which would have been potentially lost. I do think as they unraveled all this, ultimately, most of the people were going to get most of their money back, and that's why the Fed is able to step in and make this promise. It's more of a liquidity and a loan type of a situation, I think, that's going on, and they expect, to get all their money back. So let's just quickly go through, because we haven't even said, here's the joint statement by the Treasury, Federal Reserve, and FDIC. This was 6:15 Sunday night. So you don't get a lot of those on the weekend at all. Never mind by all three agencies on Sunday night. The following statement was released by Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen, Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell, and FDIC Chair Martin Grunberg. Today, we are taking decisive actions to protect the U.S. economy by strengthening public confidence in our banking system. So that's the statement right there. That's why they're doing this. Strengthening public confidence in our banking system. This step will ensure that the U.S. banking system continues to perform its vital roles of protecting deposits and providing access to credit to households and businesses in a manner that promotes strong and sustainable economic growth. So that's a full backstop right there. Let's see. Here we go. No losses associated with the resolution of Silicon Valley Bank will be borne by the taxpayer. And then they go on to say the same thing of Signature Bank. They closed Signature Bank on a Sunday. Gone. So they made the same promise. Later on, they go to say no losses will be borne by the taxpayer, the same as with Silicon Valley Bank. So that's the second and third largest banks to ever fail. Washington Mutual failed back in, the last financial crisis, and we haven't had, so that was the largest. This is the second and third largest, and they failed over a weekend, and now you're seeing a run on a lot of these banks. Now, you're seeing a run on the stock. So the key underlying piece of information is, are people actually making a run on the banks themselves? Have people panicked, and are they worried about their deposits? Because I think this letter, this joint statement right here, makes it crystal clear that, so it goes on to say, shareholders and certain unsecured debt holders will not be protected. So that statement right there may be why all the regional bank stocks are tanking. Shareholders and certain unsecured debt holders will not be protected. Senior management has also been removed. Any losses to the Deposit Insurance Fund to support uninsured depositors will be recovered by a special assessment on the banks as required by law. Finally, the Federal Reserve Board on Sunday announced it will make available additional funding to eligible depository institutions to help assure banks have the ability to meet the needs of all their depositors. That is the statement. They just basically said, they just said, we're gonna backstop every deposit in every bank for all intents and purposes. So if you've got money in the bank, don't panic. Don't go grab your money and put it under your mattress Monday morning. The Federal Reserve is gonna backstop the entire banking system. They said all depositors. So
23,291 is what Bitcoin is right now.
Wow, Bitcoin is running.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it just continues to run. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I mean, look at this. That's where we closed. Right here is where we closed on Friday. That's where Bitcoin was when the U.S. equity markets closed on Friday. We were down under 20,000. We were at 19,971. We're now at 23,325. So this is a monumental run-up. And again, still, I think if we go from here to here, that's almost 17% And if I look at the Bitcoin miners, they're not up 17%.
Dude, Wolf is still getting destroyed.
Wolf is down on a day that Bitcoin essentially, since the last time Wolf traded, Bitcoin's up 17%. And Wolf is in the red. Mawson's in the red. CleanSpark's up 6%. Cypher, which is the third largest by market cap, is up 25. Yeah,
26,
almost 26%.
You can give it 26.
We'll call it 26. Riot 12. Marathon's coming up on 14. Stronghold's up 11%.
Nice to see.
But we don't see anything really. Cypher is the only one that I think is having reasonable price action on this.
23,368, Tom.
Right.
Big jump. No.
And now
Bitcoin
I'm seeing
just jumped. It's going nuts.
23,500 is what I got right now.
Okay.
And
wow,
so again, now that's
freaking
18 or 19%. And most of the Bitcoin miners are lagging way behind that. These should be leveraged plays to the upside, and they're not even keeping up with Bitcoin.
Dude,
so,
if CleanSpark doesn't go up 10%, man, unbelievable. Dude, whoever bought the nickel $2.50 on Friday, that's going to be a good play.
Yeah.
Got 26 cents to go.
They're up 7.69%, and remember they were red a half an hour ago. So the two big ones, I mean, Riot and Marathon are up 12.5 and 14.5, but really those.
Sour. I know you're calling BS on Wolf, but once I buy it, that's when it goes bad. Sorry, Tom.
That's all right. I'm just catching up on some of these as well. Brent said I bought Cypher at $1.30 on Friday.
Nice, dude.
So you gotta like that.
It's so nice to celebrate wins, isn't it? Oh my God, we might have to stay on all day. All the hate we get, well, Tom gets. It affects me though.
It's very, very emotionally scarring. We're at 23,607.
Silver is up 6%.
We're gonna listen. This live stream is causing a huge pump in Bitcoin, so I think we have an obligation. We owe it to the people to continue the live stream. Please do us a favor. We're at 67 likes. If you could smash the like button, now 68. It's helping the live stream out a lot.
I guess I should like it.
You haven't hit the like button yet?
I'm joking.
It's not fair. I don't get to hit the like button. I don't think.
Oh, you don't?
But for all I know, I do, and I just don't know how to do it.
You just go on your phone and then open it up and hit the like button.
Oh, that's true.
And then at least you get one.
Stronghold 51,000.
Okay, Sour. I'm down with that. I'll go down with the ship.
That is just
I'll wire money in. I'm gonna wire money into Swab right now to see if there's a problem with the transfers.
Oh yeah, you should check that out just
Mark
to
Twain
see
said
what's
something about
what.
that. Yeah, I'll put some money in.
Scott is saying, Tom and George and crew, did anyone think this would happen?
What is that? I be more specific, Scott, and I'll tell you.
What's happening right now? I did not think. Yes, if you wanna be more specific, but I'll generically answer. There is no way that I thought Bitcoin was running up to 23,600 from where it was on Friday. I did say on the Friday live stream, for those of you who were with us, I did think we would have a nice pump over the weekend. But nothing that even slightly resembles what's happening here. And the only reason, I'm just going to show you, I mean, it was crystal clear. This is the 4-hour RSI. We were down to 9. The only other time I could find in the last 5 years that has ever happened was the day FTX crumbled. So that wasn't very long ago, but those are the only two times. So this is historically oversold. So you can see we have run from oversold on Friday. We're now overbought. We're at 70. We went from 9 to 75 on the 4-hour RSI. So you're not going to see too many times in the past where that happens over a weekend. So I did say, you know, we were already on the move, getting close to back here. And I thought, you know, maybe we could make a run up to 50. But really, most of the good price action on Bitcoin happens over 50 on the RSI. So I didn't think we would get to that point. I thought maybe we would run back, you know, up $1,000. Not, we're up $3,600, $3,700. I mean, that's incredible.
So, Scott, I would say this. I thought when it went down last week, I didn't see that happening. I think I would flip it. I would flip the narrative. I didn't expect Bitcoin to crash like it did last week. I didn't expect that at all. I expected the pump in Bitcoin, yes. But I didn't expect that pullback. That faked me out. Not that I'm like the smart wizard or anything like that, but from what I was looking at, I thought Bitcoin was going to have a really good month in March. I'm not saying Bitcoin's, you know, going to be perfect for the rest of the time going, but I was saying that March, I felt that it was going to make a strategic move to the upside. So I was in shock last week when Bitcoin was going to the freaking drain. And I was just, because it didn't make sense of anything that I was looking at. And I was just like, how can this be happening? In my theory now, looking back to it, you always have clear vision, right? After it already happens, is that you know that the people that had money knew that this day was coming and that they had to make it look bad for crypto so they could, you know, make more money, obviously. Sorry. Whoever they are.
You know, them.
You know, they, yeah.
I'm looking at the daily RSI for reference. We were in oversold territory on Friday. We are now at 58, so we're over 50. So, I mean, this is a really tricky thing to try to figure out because ordinarily, once we hit something like this, that's kind of the start of a nice run up. But this activity today is so unusual. I don't know how to extrapolate this. I'm gonna say I think it's very risky to try to look at the technicals right now and say that they're telling us anything. This is just once in a, I won't say once in a lifetime because it's the second time it's happened in the last 20 years. And, you know, it really didn't happen in the 100 before that. If you look at the MACD on the daily time frame, I mean, we were printing red candles. We could potentially have, you know, if this continues, we could have a bullish crossover today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I anticipated, by the way. I anticipated it last week, though.
So, you know, if this continues in the same direction and this got its start to run up over 50, if that runs from 50 to 70 or 75, I mean, the next couple thousand points, dollars, could be up. Having said that, you know, up is down and down is up and
Stronghold 18%, Eric? Wow, that's crazy, dude.
Let's get
I know Tom's in. What's your biggest position, Tom? In miners.
Right now, I think my biggest position is Riot.
Oh, really?
I have small positions in Wolf and Stronghold. So Stronghold is rallying today, big time, 17%. Wolf is down 5%. Riot, I don't trade. I'm going to start selling options, I think, potentially. I'm going to start selling calls.
Oh, are you?
I'm not saying that for an absolute fact, but I'm looking at this board thinking it might be time to start selling calls on particularly Riot and Marathon calls.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Cleanspark went up 10%, so now I'm finally happy.
All right.
Finally.
That's a good day for you.
Can you disclose how many shares you have in Riot? No. I can tell you how many I have. 0. I'm all in Cleanspark, by the way, guys. All in. Well, now I got Wolf, though.
We got a request for a new poll, so let's wrap up the old poll. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jeff, who gave a shout out to the membership For those of you who don't know, you can join. There should be a link in the description. We have a members only. Our membership is growing fast. We have a huge amount of information. I did put out a members only emergency video last night. So we've got a live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. So anybody interested, please feel free to take a look at the membership. Consider the membership. It does help support the channel because YouTube, for some reason, is not really cooperating. The algorithm is not cooperating with us, but we will continue to go forward regardless of that. So, and thank you. There's a lot of members on the live stream right now, so I want to take time out and just thank all the members for joining. Stephen English says, does tech support, quote, like the stream? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask that. That's a good question. Yeah, there should be a few freebie likes that we get that I don't even know if we're getting. Let's see, just trying to catch up now. DXY reverse, said Raul. Let's take a look. So we're at 103.8. Let's go actually look at like the 30 minutes on the. So you can see we got this green line is a 20-year high in the DXY. So this is once again providing support. This 20-year high is providing support. We did get below this. I gotta go way out on the time frame. Let's go to the 1 day. We got below this for several days. Remember when the market had a big rally? That's this. So this line makes all the difference in the world. When the DXY is under here, the market rallied, Bitcoin rallied, everything rallied. It ran back up, and now you can see it's bumping into this. If this holds as support, that, you know, I personally don't want that. I would like to see the dollar get back to something a little bit more reasonable. So we'll see. But this thing changes with the wind as well. So, you know, trying to predict this is... All right, so I'm going to end the first poll. 63% of the people thought what the Fed did was a good move. 37% thought it was a bad move. So, not...
I put it under good move just because, you know, I mean, today would be a lot different. Bitcoin would be a lot higher, though, I would tell you that.
Well, that's true. But
I
Bitcoin
think
is still reaping the benefits, clearly, of this. I mean, we're at 23,624. HUT is now up 20%. Marathon's up 15%. Riot almost 14%. Cypher's up, rounds up to 30%. Now we're starting to see moves that make sense, and these could gain momentum.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Didn't you expect this on the Bitcoin miners at least?
I expected this. I was surprised with the early price action. The first few minutes the U.S. market was open. It took a minute for this to get going the way it's going right now. So, and we'll see. This is a knee-jerk reaction to unprecedented things here. So
finally, Wolf is 57. Woohoo! Made 2 pennies, guys.
Big bucks. All right, I'm ending that poll because Sour Melon Gaming is...
Yeah, I agree with that.
Recommending...
Good move short term, bad move long term. I think what this really tells us is that we have a bigger problem than we realize with our whole banking industry. Or do we bail it out every 15 years?
Well, that's what's starting to happen.
Which banks would you go into? Somebody asked you a question. I forgot what it was. Can you recap? Oh, Brandon, can you recap what we were saying earlier about banks?
Me?
Yeah,
What were we saying? Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm just
Brandon.
about to
I don't know
post
if
this poll.
Brandon doesn't have the mic, but if he did, he could say. So I'll recap if as Tom's doing that. Basically, the United States didn't want all the banks to fail, so they came in and I guess you call it, it's like a foundation. They shore it up.
They backstopped everything.
Backstopped everything. So, in case there's a run on the banks today, which there's still going to be a run on the banks today and tomorrow. Actually, not to probably until tomorrow or the next day. They'll just print more money. Oh!
So we have to see.
I voted that one first. I was the first one to vote on that one.
You're.
Uh-oh,
You're
back
first.
down to 18 or up to 29. Come on, 29, one time.
So, I mean,
29.
this has been a massive move. Just to put it in perspective, I'm going to just do a quick measure from this orange line, which is where we were when the markets closed on Friday. So this isn't to the peak. We're up almost 18% right now. We were up as much as 19% a few minutes ago. So, I mean, Bitcoin is pushing a 20% run up. We haven't had a move like this in
years. Yeah.
This is a gigantic day.
I
for
don't.
Bitcoin
Here's the reason
so
why I don't
far.
think it's coming back down. I think because of what is going on with the banking system right now. I don't think we're going to see a big pullback. I think we will see some pullback, but I think we're pretty solid for a little while. But this is not financial advice. I expected Bitcoin this month to get very close to the 28.2. That's what I thought it would get to. But I don't think that's long term. By the way.
So 29 is back in play. I mean, that seemed like that was gone. And so we've done this poll, I think, 5 times now. The first 3 times we did it, the sentiment was positive. We thought there was a 75% chance we were going to 29,000. The 4th time we did it, that slipped a little bit. The 5th time we did it, it flip-flopped. And that was on Friday, in which, Bitcoin had already started its pretty big move to the downside. Then we got to 70% of the people thinking the next move is to the downside. So that was a big flip-flop on Friday, but obviously over the weekend, everything changed. I mean,
this is what people don't understand, and if this happens this week, and somebody just Barry wrote down Tesla buying BTC size move. If Apple comes out today, or if Tesla comes out, or any of these guys come out and say, hey, we are moving blank billions of dollars over to Bitcoin. And I would imagine that's going to happen because they can't have this type of exposure out there. Don't you agree?
I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean, I'm not expecting that today, but I expect this to accelerate the rate at which a lot of the institutional money says, you know what, I got to have some exposure to Bitcoin to diversify. Now, the fact that the Fed basically just came out and said, your money in the bank is good, period. Forget $250,000 FDIC. We're backstopping everything. I mean, that shifts things a little bit, right? Had they not done this massive statement, this is a monumental statement. I mean, effectively, they've done this one other time in the history of the United States, and they did it in a very disorderly fashion that time, and they did it too late after there was already a run on the banks. So, I mean, Bank of America was trading for $2. So things had already spiraled to a place that was much worse than this. So they jumped in. Everybody felt like, why'd they jump in so fast? Because they watched. They have a blueprint of this. We saw this just 15 years ago. We saw this happen. We know what the next steps are. Even with this dramatic move that they've done, we're still seeing this equities get taken out. And the reason for that, we think, is this sentence in this joint statement. shareholders and certain unsecured debt holders will not be protected. So there's your answer.
Hang on. I gotta interrupt you for a second. JML. You want to hear something crazy? You're gonna laugh at my next statement. Political shill. I credit Obama for changing my life. How about that one? You want to talk about political shill? Obama had this program that I was able to take advantage of, where if you bought a new house, you got $8,000. That was like the catalyst that changed my whole life around. So, was that a good thing? I mean, I think it was a great thing, honestly. It really helped the housing market way back when. But there's another, I can't tell you the real reason why. I have no value in life, by the way. Life, yeah, I have no value. But whenever you want to
value, George.
But whenever you want to step out and start, getting work done and stuff like that, I'm probably your guy. I've been in every single industry you can possibly imagine, from banking to you name it. I owned a body shop. Let's see. I never owned a restaurant, but I've been in everything. I've done everything. So there isn't anything I know how to fix in your home, which I'm currently a builder.
We washed dishes at a restaurant together. So.
Yeah, I did. I watch. You know what I mean? There isn't anything in this world that I haven't done. That's what is so freaking amazing. Like I went to Kodak, Eastman Kodak, and I was a freaking tool and die guy, which sucked ass. Sorry if you guys do that, but I mean, that just was not for me. You name it, I know how to do it. Anything in a house, I'm your guy. You call up, hey George, this is broken. Oh, well, this is what you want to do. Electric, can wire a house. We have an electrical license. We have a building license, HVAC license, plumbing license, asbestos license. Let's see what else. Hazardous waste material. And then when people blow their brains out, we have that license too, which is called crime scene cleanup. So you're right. I'm an idiot, but you know what? I'm an idiot that's lived life that has went from the bottom to the top, and I'm at the top right now. And by the way, I run a whole nother business. This isn't my main thing because we could not actually afford to do that. There's reasons I have to work because it's called paying the bills.
Yeah, there's no money in this. Just so
there's no money
knows.
in this.
There's no money.
So when you want to talk about
net loss,
yeah.
So
JML, I appreciate your insight, and so now I'm gonna go cry because you criticized me, but you gotta understand, life is like this. When the tough get going, right? We can change this world. We can make it so it's amazing, and that's why I'm on here. Tom knows more about the technicals. But Tom isn't specifically right when it comes to the technicals. Nobody's right when it comes to the technicals. The technicals only mean so much. What you need to understand in banking is, I know I am so defensive. No, I'd like to flex every once in a while, Barry. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with emotions. I hang out with these people that have all the money in the world, by the way. These are I call them neighbors. You don't even know where they live. You know what I mean? And so when you want to know what life is really like, oh my goodness gracious, you would not believe it sucks. When you get so much money that you can't make sense of it, these guys are insane what they do and how they blow their money. And it's just, and that's the reason why I started this stream, by the way. Tom, I won't go any further than that. But but anyways, thanks, troll. It's nice knowing you.
Bright Knight 88 said, "Don't sweat the chat trolls."
I know. I just had to say that. It just bothers me. And by the way, my thing is this: I like to laugh and giggle during the times of stressful situations because there are stressful situations where we're really losing real money. Like I have really lost over 6 figures trading stock in the miners. Okay, lost a ton of money. But as Tom will explain it to you. We're playing games. They're playing Monopoly. We're playing life. Sorry. I'm a Bills fan. Thanks, Mark. I even turned red. Look at that. I haven't turned red in a long time.
There's a lot of money out there. There's forces on the other side of this game, if you will, that have the ability to push the markets around and manipulate. So all we can do is try and navigate through this the best that we can. George is right. Sometimes the technicals are dead on. Sometimes they can be completely ignored because other factors are driving the market. Emotion drives the market. Manipulation drives the market. Every once in a while, but almost never, the fundamentals drive the market.
Yeah, I think over time, the fundamentals drive it over a period of, what was it? 5 years or over years is, and I mean, but look at this last 2 years have been hell.
You would hope, theoretically, the cream rises to the top. Over the course of years, the good, strong companies with solid business models that make profit should thrive over the course of time. But by the same token, and I'm going to pick on a company called QuantumScape, which may be the greatest company ever, whatever you want to say. They were a multi-billion-dollar market cap company. They didn't even have a prototype. So forget pre-revenue. Like sometimes they go, well, this company's pre-profit. It's pre-profit. They're not making money yet. Oh, well, this company's pre-revenue. They're not making revenue yet. This company didn't even have a product. And it's not like they were close to a product. They were years away from having a product. And they were, a 20 or 30 billion dollar market cap company. Revenue zero. Revenue still zero years later. So a lot of times the market does not make sense. Now, maybe they'll get to the finish line and what they're trying to do, they'll do. And if they do that, and they have, they're an EV battery company. So, if they revolutionize that technology, then, maybe there's a big win out there. But, the market doesn't make sense. Papa D, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super
23-7. Sorry.
Yeah, we're on fire. Papa D is saying Silvergate options only 75 for $3 calls for 2024 expiration. So they're kind of giving those away. The question is, where is Silvergate? That's not Silvergate.
What is Silvergate?
All right, welcome to Talking Investing. Silvergate's where all this started. Silvergate was the initial bank that was in trouble and that essentially got shut down. They didn't. That's not a fair statement. They didn't get shut down. They voluntarily agreed to shut down and get everybody their money back. So that's where this started last week.
27%. Oh my goodness.
Phone book is saying my Tom Pog just upgraded to gold. How many more members do we need for another live stream tomorrow? Yeah, we're trying to get 2 or 3 members per live stream, and
does that mean I got to do this? So if you don't want to see me tomorrow, don't become a member.
That's it. That's
if you
right.
want to see me tomorrow, become a member, and then I got to come back. How about that?
That's fair. So that's what's at stake.
The game. That's what's at stake. So I'm okay either way. My life will go on.
One way or the other. We do appreciate. I know. Thank you again. I will say thank you to all the members. I do appreciate it. It's only $5 a month, and I do put a lot of effort into that.
You want to know what's really crazy? Is I call you people my friends. This is like we so enjoy talking to everybody because it's like we know each other now. It's been going on for so long. That's one thing good about not getting too big is when it gets too big, you don't remember all the people.
Yeah, we have a list of people that, and you guys know who you are.
Thanks.
Some of them are on right now, that we know very well that have been. All right, welcome to Talking Investing.
Thanks, Jeff. That makes me feel good, buddy.
I heard.
The other thing I was going to tell you was this: is I own emergencywaterremoval.com. If anybody's in a situation where they need a job or they need to change their life, look me up, send me an email. It's george@emergencywaterremoval.com. So I think that we're in 4 states. Tom, we saw this financial disaster getting ready to happen 2 years ago, and we tried to prepare people for it. I guess we kind of messed it up. You know, we weren't exactly 100% right in what we thought, but we were probably better. There are people that have credited Tom for saving him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who was the one? I forget him now.
Dozens and
Yeah.
dozens and dozens of people, and our point is not. I mean, in the end, they saved themselves that money by listening to me and other people, and then doing their own due diligence and making a decision. But that's what we're all here for. Our particular group, I will say, this is one of the. I can't speak for other groups. We have one of the best groups ever. It's just super. Our subscribers are high quality. We're not a big station. We're not a big channel, but we have very high quality subscribers, and we have extremely highly knowledgeable investors.
All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing.
In Talkin' Investing membership. So.
Oh, and Alex, thanks for your comment too. I still believe that America's the only country where we can make it. You know what I mean? Where you can, what I mean is you can take two nickels and rub them together to make a quarter. That's what I mean. Sorry.
Phone book son, I think, gave away a membership. So he's saying, remember, fellow members, we can gift random viewers for $5 to get a membership. So I guess Scott is now a member.
That's awesome.
Scott is now a member thanks to Phone Book Son. So welcome, Scott.
So obviously we're kind of winding down here, guys. But I was going to tell you one thing. I have a whole nother channel, which is Kudab. Can you do any better? And I got a video that went into the millions, and I did another reality TV show called Poop Dynasty, and it's amazing how
That's still out
big
there,
it got. Yeah, it is, but I don't really do anything with it. How big it got. But what I realized, it's better to not really be known by many people, but just to have a few people. You know what I mean? And to make really good relationships with a few people, instead of having superficial relationships. Because I have a good friend of mine. I'm going to say he's a good friend. He's not a great friend anymore, but his name's John Cena. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. And that guy, he doesn't have time for anybody. And I wouldn't want that for my life, because that doesn't make any sense.
We're under the radar, if you will. So, but having said that, again, you guys know, those of you who are been with us for a long time, some of you for a long time, for years. So,
Mark, I had a local home bank that was bought out last week. Big problem with transactions that affect 10,000 clients. Are you still overseas, Mark? I thought you were overseas in Australia is where I thought you were, something like that.
Scott Richardson, who is a member, thanks for being a member, saying, I would much rather watch George and Tom than Kevin or George. Well, thank you. And I know those two guys, probably a lot of you are familiar with Meet Kevin and Cryptos Are Us, and they do live streams every single day, multiple times a day. So those are two of the biggest, I think, live streamers inside of this space, be it investing or Cryptos Are Us obviously is more totally focused on cryptocurrency. But I enjoy their live streams, but I enjoy these live streams. And like George said, when we do our members only live stream, it's even a little more loose than this because, everybody kind of knows everybody. So
I guess we're on for tomorrow night. Tomorrow at 4:15, Tom?
Tomorrow at 4:15, members only live stream. Alexander said you guys run the best financial stream. Great work. Thank you, Alexander. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
One more like to get 100, said Mike. Oh,
I don't mind if I'm okay. I'm like, whoever watched Seinfeld, I'm like, can't stand you. You remember? Remember George Costanza? Can't stand you.
His gym
the name
teacher.
gets, hang on, Costanza. Now that's going to be in your head all day. Remember? I like to leaving him wanting more.
Is that what we've done here?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for everybody watching. Tom, you got anything else? Or are you going to keep going?
I'll go for 5 more minutes and just wrap it up.
Okay.
And,
I'll see you guys.
All right,
Merry
George,
Christmas.
thank you. Thanks for joining.
See you tomorrow at this 4:15.
4:15 live stream for members only tomorrow. George will be there.
See
Thank
ya.
you, George.
Bye.
All right, thanks to George for joining us. Mike said, I can't stand Meet Kevin. He likes somebody named Tom Crown. I don't know that person, but maybe they're big. Jeff said, time to get to work. Bye, guys. Thanks, said Steven. All right, so, yeah, let's just take a look at where our poll ended up. I'll wrap it up. We have been going on for a while now. Let's see. Okay, so, dramatically different poll today. So, on Friday, 70% of people thought the next move was down. Today, 80% of the people think the next move is up. So, huge, huge turnaround. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing as we speak. So we've leveled off a tiny little bit, somewhere in the 23,650 area. But this was a massive run up this morning. So just to run down the board, Bitfarms is up almost 14%. Hut 24, Hive 9, CleanSpark 11, Riot 14, Marathon 17.5, Cypher's up 27%, Iris is up 20%, now 21%, BitDigital 14%, BitDigital 16.5%, Gree 14%. TerraWolf is the only thing red. It is now down 1.8%, so it's clawing its way back to zero for whatever reason here today. Core Scientific is up 39%. So we're starting to see some big moves. So I think that if Bitcoin holds, I think we'll probably see some really, really nice moves to the upside. But I don't even, this is one time where I'm going to refrain from even making a short-term prediction because things are changing so unbelievably rapidly. It depends what's happening to these banks today. It depends what the Fed comes out and does. Tomorrow we do have CPI, everybody. So remember, that's before the market opens tomorrow. So if you want to make any trades based on your thoughts on that. However, I will say I think that data point just got a lot less important. I mean, it's important on its own merits, but it just became a lot less relevant as it pertains to whether or not the Fed is going to be raising rates. So there's now, unfortunately, an even bigger problem than inflation, and the Fed's going to have to keep their eye on that. So lastly, we'll look and see this shifted. People now went from, at one point last week, 70%. There was a 70% chance built in that we were going to have a 50 basis point rate hike. There's now a 0% chance, 0.0, that we're going to have a 50 basis point rate hike. And now, all of a sudden, we're at almost 20% chance that there's going to be a 0 rate hike. So this is a dramatic, dramatic change. This was a dramatic series of events that unfolded over the weekend. I mean, this kind of stuff does not happen very often. There's a lot more to come. We see that the regional banks are still, even with all of this said, the regional banks, some of them are getting absolutely decimated. So I'll try and do maybe a list, put a list of regional banks together, a watch list, so we can see where all that went. Obviously, we'll all be following Bitcoin. So I want to thank everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on the morning live stream. Thanks to all the members again for being members and for contributing. And I guess we'll see tomorrow. Members only live stream tomorrow. So we probably won't do a live stream tomorrow morning. So we'll see the members tomorrow for a live stream after the market closes. And of course, I'll be putting some videos out as well. So thank you again for everybody. And thanks in particular to the members for supporting the channel. So, all right. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. This is about the greenest board we've had in a long, long, long time for the Bitcoin miners and for Bitcoin. So congratulations. Hopefully you guys are making money. Thanks again for joining us. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you. We'll see the members tomorrow at 4:15.